well, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And I think it tries to contextualize in a healthy. Well, they try to at least like cultivate the generosity. And sort of, I don't know, cage the selfishness a little bit, right? I think that's generally what... There's the notion of meditation and kind of, like in our religion we call it bungi, and it's like, it's considered to be very much a working on the self. It's not something that you're doing for the community, but you're working on yourself.
But to benefit the community.
No, it's meant to be like, you're thinking about yourself, but then there's other things to do for the community.
Okay.
But I think if you purify yourself, you become a better person in yourself. That's the best way to help the community.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
But it's interesting that a lot of religions think meditation is the way to achieve a better sense of self.
Yeah. I think for me, it just makes a lot of sense. Like if you try meditating, you just feel present, you feel connected, you feel like, and you just feel like you're moving towards a more meaningful state of being. Whether that has anything to do with God or not is a different thing.
Okay. Go on.
No, but I think that, so a lot of people have a lot of issues with organized religion, and they're like, yeah, I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious, because religion has a lot of control and a lot of these sort of things. So I think this is true, but it's not like the religion. It's not the religion or the sort of philosophies of the religion are controlling. It's just the institutionalization of it, and it's just that I think we have the same issue with like all. Like politics and everything, and everything we have, we see an ideology.
Yeah,
an ideology could be fairly sound, but it doesn't fully take into account that the ideology is inhabited by people.
Exactly. Right? No,
No,
I completely agree with that. But also, but maybe what you said earlier about how we just need to see religion as ritualistic practices that enable us to have spiritual experiences, and not see it on a deeper, controlling level than that.
Yeah. Well, I think you can see as much.
Or as little as you want, right?
Well, I think we should be more... I think as it's healthy for us to be open to the beauty of things, like understand them in the context that, you know, there is a certain controlling factor. Well, it's like, people use methods, like different mediums and methods to like facilitate power and oppression or whatever. Yeah. That doesn't, I don't think, mean that the religion itself is oppressive. That means like...
Yeah.
But somebody uses a mechanism or an ideology in order to oppress.
No, I agree with that, but I don't want us to go down the oppressive religion route. Because I think that's something that, I think that's a very common discussion, actually, that people have. And I don't know, do you think we can say anything with that hasn't been said?
Well, no, I just think that a lot of people consider that... like religion is integrally oppressive, right? When I don't actually think a lot of the... I also personally take a very esoteric perspective of religion and of religious texts, and I'm not saying that's right or anything, but I generally think that religious texts and their teachings are metaphorical, and the purpose for this
But we alluded to that earlier with the virtuous living, right? Just to provide some guidance on how to live virtuously, or on how to live virtuously in one way.
Yeah, but you could say that it's very direct and very prescriptive, like methods of living virtuously, or you could say they're esoteric methods of living virtuously.
But they are. But regardless of they're or not, what I think we should discuss is the fact that I'm a Hindu, you're a Muslim, we're in a Christian church, so I'm a polytheist and you're a monotheist. And we never really discussed that between the two of us.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I guess...
know a lot of monotheists that I do meet think I'm an idiot for believing in multiple gods.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, this is like theologians and loads of people, like everybody... This is the fundamental split between religions. It's like the monotheists and the polytheists. But for me, it's like they're the same. They're like they're just two different aesthetics for conveying the same ultimate like reality. And so if we were to take I think the general idea of God, if we talk about God, is like an omnipresent, omnipotent sort of creative force, right? And if we try to like...
but he doesn't do much outside of creating, right? He's the creative force. But is he still omnipresent and omnipotent? omnipotent after that.
So, okay, well, my definition of creativity is that creation is, I think, maybe different to a lot of people's notion of creation. But I think creation or creativity of a world is not a once happened thing. It's a constant process. It's a constant rebirth.
Continually creating.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Rebirthing into itself.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But so if we take an omnipresent or omnipotent kind of idea of God, and we try to like manifest this idea metaphorically, right, in order to convey this, and so we can use it in terms of like personify it and stuff. There's two ways in which to allude to the infinite, right? Numerically speaking, one is to reduce it numerically to its lowest point, to a singularity that is all-encompassing, right? And the other way that we can do that is to take numericism all the way to its point, to its like complete like ridiculous level of multiplicity, so that we're talking about like 33 million gods, so that the intellectual conception of...
Why 33 million?
Well, because isn't that how many Hindu gods there are?
No, there's a lot of misconceptions about Hinduism. Like, a lot of these numbers are just thrown around very willy-nilly. There's like, it would never in the Bhagavad Gita say there's 33 million gods. That's like nonsense. There's a lot of misconception with regards to polytheism. Of course, there's no specific number of gods. It's just preposterous.
But okay, so that's the point. It's exactly. So like it's so inconceivable. The number of gods is so multiple that it's so inconceivable that it sort of breaks the numerical conception of God and like releases the fragrance of the infinite, infinity, right? So I think that for me, that's the thing, that they're both conveying metaphorically a notion of infinity. Just one half of the religions are using a singularity, and the other half of religions are using a multiplicity.
So they're actually both saying the same thing, right?
Yeah,
but at different opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, I think so.
But do you not think it makes sense that there would be a myriad of gods creating a myriad of things?
Well, yeah, I guess it depends what we're talking about as gods. Like if we're talking about general like physical beings that create things, then I think this is like a possibility, and it's kind of plausible in the context that this world is so unbelievably, ridiculously nuts, and the fact that me and you are like thinking, feeling, talking, and writing a podcast, like doing a podcast in this moment, is just as crazy as the fact that somebody's up there just like plotting to make like tables and stuff.
But
it still doesn't. That's not what I believe to be the reality.
No, but if we think about it in terms of an energy, and we think of it in terms of the soul, and say everyone has a soul and everyone has an energy within them, I think... so do you think that all that energies come from one force, not from a myriad of forces? So that's my argument for... That's what I believe in polytheism, that I believe there's a myriad of forces that are all feeding energy into us.
Like, how do you mean there's a god of each self?
Yeah.
So there's a Shy and there's a god of Shy?
No, there's Shy, my soul, is made up of the energy of several gods, rather than just one god's energy. And that's why I'm so layered in my personality. Well, that's why I'm so layered. That's why I'm so layered. That's why we have so much potential within us, because we have the energy from so many different gods. So
then somebody with like multiple personality disorder or something.
Yeah, maybe they got too much. Gods. Yeah, they got more gods within them.
Wow. So,
but then actually that goes back to what we alluded to earlier about the soul and the personality. Like how much of your soul is reflected in your personality, or is personality a social construct? So I don't know if multiple personality disorder has anything to do with the soul.
Okay. But then, so if we have the different layers based on different... But are these gods like the god of water, god of fire, god of that sort of stuff?
No, I think, again, that's like quite what most monotheists say about polytheists, right? And like, you're just splitting God up into different roles. Whereas the way I see it, I'm like, if I'm stuck in traffic, I'm not going to pray to the god of traffic, even though that is what I do. Or if I'm,
Oh, you do?
Yeah, of course. Like, that's the best part of being polytheist.
You should be praying to the god of red lights, not traffic.
Exactly. Yeah, that's so true. What if I'm on a motorway and there's no red lights?
Yeah, well, then you're praying to the god of red lights to bloody put some fucking lights in.
Pray to the god of motorway traffic.
Yeah.
But no, I think there's just a myriad of gods of the same standing. No one is in charge of fire, no one is in charge of water, no one is like Zeus in charge of lightning or whatever. There's a myriad of gods.
But what I'm talking...
all in the same function and the same purpose, and they all put their energy within you.
Oh, okay. But, so you're made up of all these, however, whether it's 33 million or like
or
billion or...
Or if it's two.
Or if it's two.
Yeah.
Oh, so for you, monotheism just means like just rejecting the singularity.
Yeah.
So it could
polytheism means just rejecting the singularity.
Yeah. But for me, it's just... Yeah, but they're energies, right? So you're just talking about layers of energy. When I was saying like God of water and God, I'm just talking about like the construction of a soul or of a human body is built of energetic layers, like of water, fire, and these sort of things.
Yeah.
But you're saying, well, whether it's 2 or a million, then you're just built of these levels of energy.
Yeah.
And they come together. But I think like the monotheist idea is also very similar. It's just the way of categorizing it as one force. It's just one textured force as opposed to like many single textured forces, right? And the manifestation is exactly the same.
Yeah, that's true. But do you not think it'd just be too much work for one God?
Well, I don't really consider it like work. I mean, it's like the same as saying our body is too much work for, having kidneys, doing if we deconstruct our body into kidney, pancreas, heart, and we put all that together, and we say, that's too many functions for one body.
But it is, though, right? That's ultimately why we die, and why we need medication, and why we need technology to help us, right? It's only our body can only cope with it, and often it can't even cope with it.
Yeah, but
we all need medication.
But the heart by itself survives even less. The heart in isolation survives even less. They're actually like the pancreas, and they all support each other to a point that.
Yeah. So who's supporting God?
Who's supporting God? No, God's it's self-internal system. Like we are the being.
Yeah, but we just said that the being doesn't actually survive. Being can only survive for a finite amount of time.
Yeah, and God is like infinite. Right?
Yeah. So why can God survive for an infinite amount of time without help?
Without help. Well, I do actually think that we do help God.
We have.
Well, I think it's like it's a symbiotic relationship. I also don't think God is actually something which is static and like, okay, so this is the outside thing that has created us. I actually think we build God on a daily basis.
Yeah, but then if that's the case,
I'm not talking mentally.
Yeah, I know. You mean physically?
We actually physically mold the fabric of God.
But if I'm molding a different God to you...
Yeah, but you're not then conscious of like what you're doing. It's not like we are... This is a space that surrounds us, and you are feeding into it like as a product and a source of the God, and so am I.
But you think that's all going into just one God and not a myriad of gods?
It doesn't. For me, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't make any difference. The myriad or one, like for me, it's just infinity.
No. So I agree with that, but within the context of this discussion, like I don't think any of us really care about monotheism versus polytheism.
I don't know. Many people do. Many people dedicate their lives to.
Yeah. I mean, but we don't, right? I don't think it impacts our views on God.
Yeah, but so what are we saying? Yeah, but you're saying there's many different gods.
Yeah, right? But I do agree with your idea that we are creating God rather than God creating us.
No, both.
Both, yeah, sorry, but it's like a symbiotic relationship, like you said to me. I do agree with that. But I like to think that I'm creating multiple gods. With every interaction that I have with you, or every interaction I have with my mother, or every interaction I have with the Hindu temple, I'm creating different gods.
Yeah, but I think that's just a poetic perception of how you wish to see.
Is not a religion not a poetic perception of how we wish to receive God?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I think religion is.
Poetry,
and that's the thing. That's why, like, at the essence of the ground of all religions, they all bind to the same like essence, and that's why all spiritual experience is essentially the same for all of time and across all of humanity, because we're all connecting to the same place, but different people have different aesthetic ways of getting there, different paths. And it's even the same, like, you know, you can read a poem or something, which I think is complete nonsense, and I have like no emotional connection to. But it gets you to this like this very profound reaction. Like it could start you crying out of sadness or something.
Like our podcast.
It's like but we both listen to our podcast and start crying.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
It's not very good example.
But it's